How many times have you hung?
How many times have I suspended?
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, fuck. I don't know how many times I've done it, but as you can see, I'm covered in these little tattoos.
Is that there where all the hooks go?
Those are entry and exit wounds. There's only a couple. So I've got a couple on my fingers.
You do them from your fingers?
No. So that one. So I made myself a rule of anything over a certain size of hook or skewer, I'll get a tattoo for. So I've got I've got 4 tattoos on my stomach from skewers. And
what do you mean by skewers?
Barbecue skewers.
Barbecue skewers.
Yeah. So for because you got to learn how to do the piercings and that sort of stuff, and goes into a whole different area as well. Me and my mate who do the body suspension went to a medical course that a friend of ours was running to basically learn how to do certain piercings and that safely. And it's once again it's one of those things of here's how to do it the right way, and get everything autoclaved and all that sort of stuff so it's properly sterile. Here's how to do it as safe as possible when you're out in the field, doing body suspension and stuff like that, because you're out in the dirt and dust and that sort of shit. So it was that style of, here's the right way. Here's how to do it safe enough. Here's how not to do it. So at that event, he's done these little TED talk, and then he's gone, cool, let's do some practical sort of stuff. And I had my mate put 8 skewers through my back and hook them together like that, rope it up. So I was just, semi-suspended off of it just to put a bit of pressure onto it. And then afterwards he was like, all right, cool. What do you want to do now? I'm like, I kind of really want to see if I can push a barbecue skewer through my stomach. So just off my guts here. So just here and that one there. So I've just grabbed it like that and just started pushing as hard as I could. Because it's just it's exactly the same as this. It's just a tapered barbecue skewer, and just sitting there putting as much pressure on it. Couldn't get it through properly. Still had to sort of pierce it a little bit with a needle, but one of them managed to actually get most of the way through just by pushing it, and it was fun.
Oh my god, that's the widest people shit you hear all day, eh?
Oh, 100%. That's the thing is, I'm not into pain like that, but I search it out as much as possible.
Is it because it's funny. So I went to Greece one year and I did the Greek islands, and I went to this island called Eos, and it's just a party island.
Yeah.
And there was this tattoo parlour there, and I made friends with all the tattooists, and we were drinking heaps one night, and one of them was a fucking strange dude. Really nice dude, but you could tell he was a bit fucking, he was very odd. Yeah. And I was talking to him, I was like, oh, what are you into and shit, man? He's like, oh, I'm he had missing a finger, he cut his finger off as a body mod.
I've got a mate who's done both his pinkies.
And fucking, I was like, what do you do? He's like, I love body suspension.
Oh, yeah.
And there used to be this dude, I don't know if he's still famous now. I don't know, I think he changed his name. But he used to be called Little Swastika. He has full face tattoos, dreadlocks, missing. He was one of the first people to cut off a heap of his fingers.
Yeah.
Split tongue, but he used to suspend himself while he was parachuting and skydive and shit.
Seen a whole bunch of that shit.
And he was with all of them the week prior, and he was showing me all these videos, and they were having ayahuasca fucking ceremonies in the middle of the jungle and suspending and shit. And I was like, this is fucking so gnarly.
Oh yeah, it's once again, it's one of those things of it's not for everyone. And when I first, the way that I actually got into it was my mate who does it. I was a part of a haunted house for Halloween for a couple of years, and he came out and tried out, and that's how I met him. And back when I was in a band, actually this band, he turned around.
What's the name of the band?
Abolished. Oh. So I'm no longer part of it. Unfortunately, I was going through a whole bunch of shit and just a really bad bandmate, and they finally went, look man, we're gonna have to look for a new guitarist. And I was like, oh, this is bullshit. After a day or two of feeling down on myself, I went,
fair.
Nah. Yeah, fair call. And then I've gone and seen them since. They are a fucking amazing band. They're so tight, just brilliant band, brilliant bunch of dudes.
Like dark metal or
no, so weird. It's very Tool and System of a Down inspired, a sort of a progressive nu metal sort of stuff. I don't want to sort of label them or anything because
There's 6 million different types of metal for anyone who doesn't know out there, and they get really offended when you don't know the one.
Once again, when we were first coming up with the name Abolished, like we were sitting there going, man, it would be so much easier if we were black metal or death metal or something like that, because you can just go Cannibal Corpse. All right, that one's taken, but fucking any fucking evil sounding shit. Yep, done. But when you have no idea what the fucking genre you're playing, you kind of like, what the fuck? What the fuck do we call ourselves? We were unnamed for fucking months, and then finally I can't remember who came up with it. It was like, how about Abolished? And it's like, maybe. And then it just grew on us, and we're like, yeah, all right, that fucking works. And then it's just fucking stuck around.
Yeah.
But I was doing a show at back when it was at World's End instead of Royal Oak
on Hindley.
Yeah, on Hindley. So we're at World's End. So he's come out for that because he knew someone in each band on the bill, and I'd finished my set, come off, and then I was like, oh, by the way, like, I saw some of your photos on Instagram, man. Like, that body suspension shit looks cool as fuck. And he goes, there's a fresh set of hooks there if you ever want to go up. And we sort of both had a bit of a laugh. And then like 2 days later, he sent me a message going, hey man, I was being serious. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Hook us up. Let's go. So I was like, worst case scenario, fucking hate it. And I never do it again. And I've got cool photos and videos and be like, yeah, check out this cool thing that I've done. First time I did it, I was like, this fucking sucks. This just hurts. There's no good about it. And then, like,
do you get a high from it?
Sort of, yeah. So the first one, I went up and like I just couldn't get comfortable. I couldn't relax. And I've come back down, and he could see in my face that I was about to be like, yeah, nah, I'm fucking done. Like, get him out. And he's just gone, do you want to pull yourself up? And I went, you fucking prick. Of course I fucking do. Like, why the fuck wouldn't I? I'm here. So pulled myself up, and like, actually having that control over it gave it a hugely different feeling. And like having something to focus on as I'm pulling, I'm just sitting there fucking growling and carrying on sort of thing. I've gotten up again. I'm going, all right, cool. And come back down. I was like, all right, that was interesting. Got cool photos, got cool videos. I'm done. And it wasn't about hour, 2 hours later, I just had this massive rush of emotions. Like I was up, down, fucking feeling everything. And then a clarity to each emotion came through that I was like, I'm feeling sad because my marriage was ending and that it was a horrible time in my life. I'm feeling happy because there's all these new possibilities that are arising because I no longer am tied to someone, and all the rest of it. So I had these all these sorts of shit come through. And I'm like, all right, that's fucking I wonder why that's happening. And started talking to my mate. He goes, yeah, it can bring on some stuff like that afterwards, like usually rush of endorphins and adrenaline from actually going through something like that. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I think it was like a month later, he's like, I'm doing another suspension day. Do you want to go? Like, do you want to get in on it? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go again. He goes, okay, cool. What position do you want to go up in? Because most people for their first time, it's called a suicide, and it's just 4 hooks in the back or 2 hooks in the back because it looks like you're hanging. So the second suspension, I was like, I want to do the Antichrist. And he goes, you don't fucking do things by halves, do you? And I'm like, nope, let's go. So it was on the outside and inside of both calves. And
is because of the skin's thinner, does it hurt more? Is that why it's less?
No, so it depends on where you're getting pierced. Because like, once again, like you've been smacked in the arm by your mates and shit like that, and you're like, oh yeah, fucking, it's that dull ache. Or if someone flicks you in the fucking ear, you're like, oh fuck, that stings. It just comes down to where the piercing is, and also comes down to like, fucking, did you eat a good breakfast? Are you in a good place mentally? What's your pain threshold like in general? That sort of shit. Like I've had suspensions where I've made no noise with the piercings, and I'm up in 2 minutes. Like from time of getting the piercings done to actually being in the air is about maybe 10 minutes flat. Whereas other times, I've been pierced up, I've got the ropes on, like everything's ready to go, and he'll put a bit of tension on, and I just go, no, hang on, like fucking pause, like, and it's just, I'm having a fucking bad mental day, and all of a sudden your body just can't handle shit anymore. But then you try to sort of rock yourself into it, and it separates the skin from the fascia. So yeah, it sounds quite horrible, but once it sort of separates enough, and your body kind of gets used to it and goes, okay, cool, we're going to dump a fuck ton of adrenaline and endorphins and get you through this. That's when you go, oh, everything's comfortable now. Like there was one of the suspensions that I had was one of my favorites. So it was just 2 hooks in the back, and I was swinging around.
The more hooks, the less it hurts as well? Or
Yeah, because it spreads out
the pain?
it spreads it out over, like, just the load sort of thing. And it was just, it was 2 or 4 hooks in the back. I can't really remember. But, so I've gone up and I've started getting comfortable, and that's all I remember for the next half an hour.
Yeah, right.
Because
you're up there for half an hour.
Yeah, I was up there for half an hour swinging around and doing all sorts of just random shit. Because I got, video footage of it. I do not fucking remember it at all, because it was just the perfect day. Like, the weather was really nice. I was in a good place mentally. I was in a good place mentally. Like, that was a good day for me. I'd eaten a good breakfast. I'd had plenty of water, had Powerade, so my sugars were up. It wasn't like my body was going through turmoil as I'm going into it. So as I've gone up, I got comfortable really, really quickly. Like, my body just went, yep, you've settled in, everything's good. And the way that I, use body suspension is as a form of, like, some form of therapy of clearing my mind of thoughts and shit. Because being ADHD, having depression, having anxiety, my mind never shuts off. It just keeps running. So having an outlet that actually just completely quiets the brain, because it either gives me something to focus on, or when I get comfortable, something just happens and my brain just sort of melts away and I don't think. And for half an hour I was up swinging around, and I do not remember any part of it until about 20 minutes after I've come off the hooks, because I'm like, fuck knows how long I was up there for, because like, I know how long I was up there.
Do you bleed a lot from it?
Depends on, once again, like, for my second suspension, the Antichrist, where I was upside down, and like, it's a pretty hectic fucking suspension. He gives you instructions before, before the day. He's like, cool, don't drink heavily the night before, get a good night's sleep.
Same as a tattoo, pretty much.
Basically, yeah. Like, don't have coffee, don't do anything that's going to thin out your blood, like aspirin, caffeine, alcohol, all that sort of shit. Don't take drugs, have a good breakfast, have a good sleep, keep your sugars up, that sort of shit, because, you're about to get fucking an open wound. That was the only thing on that list that I didn't do, was aspirin the night before. Oh, and drugs. But I drank heavily the night before, got 2 hours of sleep, had 2 iced coffees for breakfast, because at that time I was, fucking, loved, Farmers Union iced coffee. Fucking that was breakfast every single day. But, had 2 iced coffees, got there, and he's like, all right, cool, pierce, all that sort of stuff. And then afterwards, after I've come off the hooks, like, I've gone, like, not like, woozy or anything like that, but I was like, that feels fucked. And he's like, you thinned out your blood a fair bit, didn't you? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, how much sleep you get last night? I was like, about 2 hours. He goes, what were you doing? I was like, I was out at a party drinking. And he's like, you fucker, don't do it again. I was like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's nice enough about it, but he was just like, you fucking dickhead.
Do you have to sign, like, waivers and shit?
Yeah, basically. It's the same as when you get in a, piercing at a fucking, piercing shop and that sort of shit. Like, it's an indemnity waiver, but it is also one of those things of, like, you are doing something that is inherently dangerous. Pretty much like tattoos and piercing places, the indemnity form isn't worth the paper that it's written on. Like, it's, as far as I'm aware, you can't really sign away certain rights that you have as a human being, and fucking the right to sue them if it goes fucking sideways, is one of those ones. But I'm not a fucking lawyer.
Are they busy? Like, are these events pretty, like, packed out, or is it just people that want to participate kind of go?
No, so with my guy, he's like, not private days, but you got to give, like, you got to pay a deposit, you got to fucking message him well in advance and that sort of shit. So it's usually about 3 to 4 people that actually get suspended, and you can bring along some friends, bring along a small crowd to spectate, but the less people the better. Because it depends on what you're suspending for. I know that there's been a couple of times where I've gone out for a suspension, and I'm going through some shit mentally, and I'm like, cool, I need to fucking just shut off. And there might be some people there that I don't know, because they're new to the scene sort of thing. They're like, oh yeah, I'd love to give it a try. So they're loud, boisterous, and like,
make sure I'm comfortable.
Yeah, they've just got like a nervous energy that it's like, I really wish that you weren't here so I could just get into my fucking zone. Because there's been, some suspensions are purely for fun, and it's just like, cool, I just want to go swing around, hang out with my mate, and fucking, just have a good time. Other suspensions, it's like, cool, I've been having a fucking terrible couple of months or a terrible couple of weeks. I'm just going through some shit. I just need to shut off. And then other times we've done stage shows and shit like that around like fringe that sort of stuff. So yeah, like there's certain suspensions where there's been just a few newbies or like people who just have that personality that you just like, oh, fuck, I really wish you'd come later in the day, or I had come later in the day so that you'd already be done.
How much does it set someone back?
Not that much. I think it's about $150.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. It's and
Cheaper than a fucking piercing.
yeah, certain piercings, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it's like because he's a private business basically. It's not something that's well advertised. He does it in his spare time.
Yeah.
So he is very much like cool. It covers his costs of the materials, the like his machines to actually like clean everything properly and that sort of stuff. But yeah, like it's not that expensive, but some people look at the price tag and you go, oh fuck that, like no, I'm not paying that much to have somebody fucking skewer me for to put me through pain. It's like, well,
seems cheap to me.
Oh, it is. Like, I mean, once again, price for everything is relative. It's what are you willing to pay for shit? Like, like an axe. If someone just goes, how much did you pay for this, and you tell them the price and they go, oh, I wouldn't have fucking paid that. I can go down to Bunnings and get myself an axe for $30. It's like,
it's not handcrafted.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a fucking handcrafted bottle opener. It's it's something that's just off the fucking shelf that any cunt can fucking have. So it's worth the money to you. Whereas some people will go, how much did you pay for that tattoo? It's like, oh, I've paid $2,000 for having one sleeve done. And people go, oh, I'd never fucking pay that to deface my body. It's like, well, you and I have different priorities. Clearly that I enjoy the artwork that I've now got on my body.
So you tattooed over the scars. Is there actual still scars there?
Yeah, there's still scars all the way through. Oh, shit. There's scars all the way through it, so like you can see it right there. Yeah. But yeah, no, I've got some really weird places. I've actually got fucking 4 on my ass cheeks.
You did your ass?
Yeah.
That would be the worst, eh?
No, fuck no.
When I got my ass tattooed, that was the fucking surprisingly. The ass was the worst place I've been tattooed.
Look, the tattoos on the ass hurt more than the fucking suspension did. Like,
Canes, eh?
Oh yeah, fucking. It's like you ever fucking just drop down onto you sit down. You've had a long day. You fucking sit down hard. But you miss the cushion on the couch, you just slam into the wood, and you're like, oh, and you can feel it in your throat. You're like, oh,
you didn't suspend from your ass, you just skew it. You did.
No, suspended from ass, upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah, it's called the astronaut.
That's so fucking good.
Oh, it was a fucking fun one because I'd had a fucking shithole of a year, fucking terrible year, and I'd called up my mate Alan. I'm like, look, man, it's the end of the year. I want to do a fun one. Like, fucking, let's go for a suspension day. Went up to fucking somewhere in one of the hoity-toity fucking areas out fucking east sort of thing. And he was like, oh, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just want a fun one. And he's like, how about the astronaut? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Let's just do something fucking stupid. Because I'm pretty sure it was on New Year's Day. And yeah, it was great. Fucking just 2 hooks in the ass, upside down, fucking, took a little bit to get up. But fuck, it was fun. Just swinging across this creek upside down.
Because you're like bigger, is it harder for you to do it than other people? I was going to say, because obviously the lighter you are, the kind of less strain on the hooks.
100%. Like when I first started doing it, I was about 80 something kilos, so I was a fair bit lighter, and it was quite easy. And some of the more recent suspensions, of course, I'm up near when I was doing it, it was like 105, 110-ish. I've dropped weight now. But, I was, fucking a little bit heavier. So when you are heavier, it's more strain on the, where you're getting suspended from because there's just more weight pulling on it. So, yeah, there's people who are, you see videos of, like, women who are doing it and they've got, 10 hooks in and they look just so comfortable. They look like it's not even bothering them at all, which, probably fucking isn't. But it's like, yeah, she's in between 50 to 70 kilos. I'm 30 to 40 kilos heavier than her. If I was to do that suspension, I'd be in fucking agony because it's just pulling so much heavy, like it's pulling so much more weight. The most hooks I've ever done was 10 hooks. So shins, thighs, stomach, chest, and cheeks. That one was hard, but that was due to the day. Once again, like it all comes down to the day and what happens. If I'd gone up first, like if I was the first one to go up, would have probably been way easier, because I got there and, you know, you sort of like, me personally, I like to sort of get into like a bit of a headspace with it and just meditate, like not meditate, but that style of thing.
Get in the zone.
Yeah, get in the zone. And so I sort of got myself into the zone, got myself ready, and my mate's like, oh, hey, you know, this bird has come down from fucking Nuri up to suspend. Can she go first? I'm like, yeah, right, yep, that's fine. Like, you know, that's fair. Like, you're running the day sort of thing. And he knows that he can sort of shift me and put me into, you know, wherever he fucking needs to. He always runs weird ideas past me. He's like, hey, I've got this weird configuration. What do you reckon? I'm like, yeah, well, if you want to fucking do it, you know, I'm keen. But yeah, so he's like, oh, you know, move you back a bit. So I sort of got myself out of that headspace to then help him with, you know, the piercing, the rigging and all that sort of shit. So I've, you know, helped her go up. And then as she's coming down, I'm like, all right, cool. Time for me to sort of start getting into the zone again. Got myself into the zone. And then he's gone, hey, the next two people who are doing a tandem suspension, they have somewhere to be. Can we put them before you? I'm like, yeah, all right. Cool, fair enough. And like, you know, it was just one of those days where, like, you know, it was organized in a certain way, and then due to other people saying, oh, hey, can we do this, can we do that, it just got all shuffled around. And, you know, it's not
fucked with your routine a little bit.
No, it's no one's fault, but, you know, it's one of those things of like, yeah, I had sort of gotten myself in and out of that zone, you know, a couple of times. So by the time that it was, you know, I was ready to go up, I haven't eaten for most of the day. I'd had, you know, bits of Powerade here and there to keep my blood sugars up and that sort of stuff. And I was going through some, you know, mental shit. So he's pierced me up, which copping 10 hooks is interesting.
Is that worse than the hang?
It can be, and it, well, once again, depends on where you're getting pierced. Shins, easy as piss.
No, because the skin's so thin.
Thin skin, not much nerve endings, and, you know, doing Muay Thai for so long, you know, sort of deaden your nerves in your shins. The thighs fucking sucked. Like,
really?
Oh, they fucking suck. The stomach was fucking even worse than the thighs. And there's a photo that he's actually got of just as he's pierced through, you can actually see a bit of fat sitting on the end of the fucking shaft.
That's fucked.
Oh, that's
fucked.
Yeah, it's gross, but it's also one of those fucking just cool little things like, oh, that's fucking weird. But yeah, then, you know, chest, nice and easy. Cheeks, fucking could have fallen asleep. It was easy as. Got roped up, and I'm laying there, and I'm cold because, you know, at this point we're at Brighton at a fucking abandoned cement factory, and there's no fucking wall on the side of it facing the ocean. So we've got this fucking ocean fucking breeze coming through, and I'm in a pair of shorts. That's it. So it's fucking cold, and, you know, my body's starting to just tense up and all that sort of shit. So
skin's starting to tighten.
Yeah, exactly. So he's starting to put a bit of tension on it, and I'm like, oh fuck, no. And I've gone, hang on a second. I've grabbed onto the bar to hold myself just to take a bit more of the weight. And that helped me get off the table. So he's managed to get me off. And then, you know, I've taken one hand away, put it across my chest, still holding a bit of weight, and then changed hands just to really try and stretch it out and get comfortable. And at one point, like, just the song, and once again, song choice is fucking so important, because if you know a song that has a real good meaning to you and you're going through some shit, put that on with it. Because, or like, you know, find a song that you have that has, you know, the right fucking dynamics to it that really means something to you, and listen to that while you're suspending. The song that I had on didn't mean a lot to me because it was very, very new to me, but it has a lot of meaning to it. And I was listening to it, and it just sort of reaches this, you know, peak in the song. And as it's hit that peak, I've just let go and just let out this massive guttural fucking roar. Didn't worry, like, once again, I'm very self-conscious about a lot of shit. Didn't worry about what the scream sounded like for the first time ever. And I have, like, you know, this weird sort of break and crack into the fucking, like, into the scream, but it just let out all of this emotion all at once, and it was fucking fantastic.